Hi guys. 2 years ago I couldn't speak English at all. I couldn't build a simple sentence in English. But right now I can speak for hours even with natives from Great Britain, United States and so on. And today I want to talk to you about this experience that I already have, how I achieved that result in 2 years, because it's so fast and people are impressed by that. Like, how did you learn the language? And I just want to share my knowledge that I already have, and I hope it might help you to learn another language if you want to. But before we start, and I'll tell you the things that I actually did to improve my writing, reading, listening, and speaking skills. I want to tell you about more important things, like why people are struggling with learning the language. Why do they learn it for years without achieving any result? And as I found out, there are two main reasons for that. First of all, they don't know their own goals. And as I told you, I spent 2 years to learn the language, but I spent 2 years more before that to figure out what are my own goals, why I'm learning the language. Is it my real goal? Why do I need that language? Because English isn't my first language, actually. It's my fourth language, which I already knew. Because I already know Russian, Ukrainian, and Bulgarian languages. And also, I was thinking of the methodology, like how to learn the language in the right way. Because if you're doing it wrong, you won't achieve any result if you even keep trying, You can keep trying for years, but it won't work for you because you don't know the right way. And I've tried to discover this way and figure it out. And I did that in two ways. First of all, I was thinking about my experiences of learning other languages that I already knew. And the most important and interesting was about my Bulgarian language, because I was learning it in the village, in Bulgarian village. And I've learned it just in a year, when I was 5 years old. Without reading books, without grammar, without teacher, without learning new words, just by speaking with my relatives and friends who were living and speaking Bulgarian in this village. And thinking of that, I figured out that maybe learning the language could be also so simple, and you could learn it without grammar, vocabulary, and teachers. And the second thing, like from the other side, I was also speaking with English teachers, and I was working at that time with an English speaker, and I helped her to create an educational program for her students. And working with her, I discovered the language structure. I figured out what exercises people have to do to improve their skills. Like I found out something important about vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and so on, like the methodology. So having this, like both sides, my personal experience with other languages and my experience working with English teacher, I've created with her an educational program for myself to learn the language. And I was following this program for 2 years. And right now I'm going to tell you what are the things that I actually did to improve my skills. So in general, we can talk about that. I tried to surround myself with English environment, and also I tried to switch from Russian into English. So everything that I ever was doing in Russian, I started doing it in English. And what was that actually? First of all, I started watching cartoons for children, Scooby-Doo, Peppa Pig, all the Disney movies, and so on. I watched tons of them, dozens of them, hundreds maybe of watch hours. Next, I was watching in English movies and series, and I remember how I was watching Game of the Thrones, yes. It was the first series that I tried to watch, and I understood maybe 30% of what actors were saying in this movie, even though I was watching it with subtitles. But I've learned a lot of new words from it, and it was helpful. Next thing, I started to I switched all of my devices into English also. My iPhone, the operating system, also in English right now. My Zoom audio recorder, my camera, my Nintendo Switch gaming console, my TV, laptop, and so on. Everything is in English. So I'm able to use English on a daily basis, even without doing some extra, exercises. Next, I started to search for the information on the internet about different topics using English keywords. I started reading articles, reading news, watching YouTube videos, watching webinars, learning new skills, working on self-development. Everything I was doing in English. So that helped me to build some environment and informational field around myself. Next, I understood that I have to practice my speaking skills, so I have to speak with someone. And it was difficult to find some native guys living in Europe, but I spoke a lot with non-native guys outside, like walking on the street and somewhere else. But native guys, I found them on platforms like Preply or italki. And I was also speaking with ChatGPT. I hope you know that method. Next, I started creating new documents like my CV or resume in English, and I created a list of things that I want to buy in the supermarket, in the food store in English. This note is also written in English, and I tried to schedule my time on the calendar also in English. Everything I was doing, I've tried to make it in English. Next, about my goals. One of my goals, one of the reasons why I decided to learn the language was to switch into English area and to the English market. And I decided to work on my YouTube channel and write articles, and I thought that might help me to work on a daily basis on my language skills, and that really helped. And I talked about that in the previous videos. And last one about reading. What actually did to improve my skills on reading and grammar. So here are some books. These all books, I already read some of them. These are for an elementary level. They are very simple, fairy tales for children. This one is a manga. It's like a comic book, but Japanese comic book. I like them very much. They have a lot of images in there and a few little bit of text, several conversations, so it's very easy to read. Next one, it's Rich Dad Poor Dad book. I read it from cover to cover. And Harry Potter, classic. So first book I already read it, and the second one I am still reading it, and I have also the third one. So I'll continue to discover the world of Harry Potter. And here is 50 great short stories from the best authors in the world, edited by Milton Crane. I started reading it and I understood maybe 10% of it. But to be fair, I give it to my friend from Great Britain. He's a native guy, and he understood maybe 50% of the book. So it's really hard to read it. It's classical literature. This one is a Marvel comic book. My friend from Great Britain gave it to me. I read it also from cover to cover. This one is a journal about how to found your own company or self-employment in Germany, also written in English. I've read it all. It was helpful information for myself. And here is the grammar book. It's Essential Grammar in Use for elementary level. And to be honest, I finished maybe 10% of it. No. So it's a proof that you can speak English even without learning the grammar. And I promise you that I'll finish it someday. And here is a few conspectus that I already completed. This one is with exercises on this grammar book. This one is from masterclass that I have completed from Marcus Brownlee, how to make videos that go viral on YouTube. This one is a conspectus of casual conversations that I had on I Talk Your Preply. This is about personal development, and 3 of these are about art of storytelling. I also finished the masterclass of Neil Gaiman. Sorry. So as you see, I've worked a lot these 2 years, and like the 4th step, the main important thing, I was doing that consistently for 2 years, and I spent like thousands of hours doing that, and I was doing that day by day, week by week, without skipping the process, without quitting the process. And I did that consistently only because I knew my goals, like why I'm learning the language, and because I knew the right methodology. That is why I was talking to you about that and why it's so important. But I can't like tell you about how to set up your goals in English and about the methodology in this video because it's too much to say, you know. But if you want me to, I can create a separate playlist of the videos and maybe start creating new videos about that topic, about learning the language. So ask your questions down below under this video. What are you interested in about my experience in this process? I would be glad to help you and answer to you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that was helpful and interesting. See you in the next one. Bye bye.